So if you're one of those golfers who struggles with their fairway woods, hybrids and irons, well, today's video is going to be gold for you. So I'm going to help you understand what you do wrong, but give you something that if you can practice for just 5 seconds before each shot is going to transform your ball striking. So many golfers get set up to the golf ball with great intentions that they're going to hit that fantastically struck shot at the target and a good distance, but all too often they'll kind of top the ball, fat it, and very, very occasionally they get that great strike. But all too often when I speak to golfers particularly, they're so obsessed with hitting certain positions in their golf swing, and they talk about kind of modelling the best players in the world. But for me, when you watch the best players in the world, they're all a little bit different with how they do it, but the one position they're all very similar at is impact. So I think if you can get a good understanding of where you'd like the club and your body to be at impact, and most importantly then rehearse it before each shot, it's a great opportunity to get you back into that position. So if we were to watch a typical golfer hit the ball, you would tend to say that they'll set up pretty well, and if they strike one well, it'll tend to be very, very high, not necessarily fantastic distance, and occasionally they'll work out how to get the ball straight. But if we look at the TrackMan numbers there, 78 mile an hour club head speed, low point slightly behind the ball speed 97 mile an hour and carrying 123. But what we would see with that swing is from a good address position and reasonable on the way back, kind of the body stayed back, the club release is very, very early, and then if anything, we're kind of trying to add a little bit of loft to impact. But the best players in the world, we see the complete opposite of that. So what we'll see with them at impact is their lower body's much nearer the target, there's lots and lots of shaft lean, and actually they're a little bit kind of smaller into impact, because that right arm is nice and folded when we've got that shaft lean. Now, when we look down the line as well at that impact position, we see that the better golfers stay in a very good posture. They don't always stay in perfect posture, but you'll very rarely see a good player early extend and be massively closer to the ball. Because when that happens, we can see the club moves closer to us, so we could hit that toe, or as we move closer to the golf ball, we raise up and we top the ball. So like I said, I think all these positions golfers work on, not saying they're not important, but the only position the golf ball knows is impact. So we're going to start with a small swing and build up into the full swing and see how good we can be rehearsing that. So what we'd want to do is get into that address position and then literally upper body staying fairly still, but we're going to move the lower body kind of 4 or 5 inches nearer the target and feel that lead hip starts to turn out the way. And we'll see there when I do that how that lead handle moves closer to the target. But as that happens, see how I'm actually losing that little bit of height into impact. And then obviously as I release the club, the circle's at its widest now after the ball, which helps move that low point forward. So I think if you can rehearse that first, get there, and we're just going to start with a waist height swing and try and feel that on the way through. So we're going to rehearse and then waist height and through. And once you've done a couple of practice swings, I'd literally want you to set up, rehearse it to the golf ball, and then half swing. Felt pretty good. Now, even though my club head speed was 10 mile an hour slower, my low point's now 5 inches ahead. The ball speed's the same as the full swing before, and all of a sudden the carry's 127. So even, ridiculous as it sounds, even with that tiny swing, I'm getting more distance because I'm de-lofting the club, getting more energy from that club head into the ball. You can see smash index on TrackMan there, 103. So I've de-lofted the club to become super efficient with my ball striking. So obviously I'm not going to hit loads of shots doing this in the video, but I would want you to rehearse and maybe in practice Do 10 of those and get that feel. Don't worry about how far it's going. Rehearse the impact position, then hit the shot. And all we're simply going to do now is go longer. So we're literally going to rehearse and then maybe feel like a 3/4 swing and try and feel that I get back into that impact position. So again, we're going to set up, rehearse, swing. Again, 80 mile an hour now, 4 inches ahead, nearly 111 ball speed and 154 carry. So that's a 30-yard pickup, literally, even with a shorter backswing, which means that my downswing maybe isn't as fast as it could be, but again, the strike's good, shaft lean, body's working well, and again, down the line, there's less going on, therefore it's much easier to get all the energy going into the golf ball. So I actually really like the half swing and the 3/4 feel, so I'm going to do one more 3/4. So rehearse that impact position. Again, maybe felt just a little bit thin, but 82 mile an hour, nearly 4 inches ahead, 108 ball speed, 147 carry. Now, for me, I'm making this challenging for myself today. I've actually got a blade 7-iron in my hand, so I know if I'm even a couple of millimetres off centre, it will cost me a little bit on distance, but I love, for me, making the practice a little bit more challenging, so when I use something a bit easier, I should find it even easier to get that great result. So then we're going to progress into full swing. So again, rehearse, and if you're not sure, rehearse a couple of times. And I always find interesting for me with this exercise, when I do that, not only do I feel my head go down, I also feel it go a little bit closer to the target, which definitely for me, when I hit my shots, I'm kind of backing up out of the shot a little bit, and that's why I would tend to get that toe strike. So we're going to go full swing, rehearse the feel, love that feel. So 86 mile an hour club speed, 4.8 inches ahead, 112 ball speed and 152 carry. Now again, didn't feel absolutely flush, but I love the fact there that the little miss hit is still 30 yards past the one I hit great before I actually understood the impact position. And I think for a lot of golfers, it is the initial understanding. Most golfers will tell me that they understand where they are at address, and all they're trying to do is get back to their impact. But we can see weight's not shifted, no hip turn, chest's not turning out of the way, no extra shaft lean, no chance of hitting good shots. So again, we're going to set up, really rehearse that feel. Definitely on my full shot, don't feel anywhere near that. So let's try and exaggerate. That felt better. See 87 mile an hour club speed, low point 3.7 ahead, ball speed 116, 160 carry. Now that definitely for me is the interesting bit, that I think a lot of that I feel, I generally feel pretty good, but definitely feel like my head's going a little bit that way. I know that sounds odd, I don't want to be moving necessarily nearer the golf ball, but if everything's fairly extended at address, and then that right arm's folded, we can definitely see the distance from there to there is smaller. So I am actually moving a little closer to the golf ball, but then that lead side's up and out the way, creates more speed, creates great strike. So that one felt good. Now with the full swing, can I rehearse my impact position and then really feel a swing at the kind of speed I want to and maintain that strike. So that feels great. Again, 87 mile an hour club speed, 3.8 inches ahead, 117 ball speed, and again, 160 carry. So if you are one of those golfers that struggles with contact, whether it be irons, hybrids, or fairway woods, the ball's on the ground with all of them, and it's just the ball position that'll change a little bit. So at the moment, the ball's very central, just slightly further forward with the longer clubs. But if you can get used to rehearsing that impact position, like I said, maybe just 5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds before you hit each shot, it's really going to transform your ball striking and take your game to a whole new level.